Well, I'm getting started here on the Angleworm Trail. Just leaving the parking lot about 11:30 in the morning on Thursday, May 16th. This is, I think, the earliest I've ever been here in the Boundary Waters, pretty sure. And if you look, the trail, maybe you can see it behind me, a lot of brown dead leaves, and just like it is in the fall, in September and October. It's really about the same kind of conditions. Nobody else in the parking lot. There was another hiking permit issued for today, as well as a canoe permit as well, because this first two miles is actually a canoe portage into Angleworm Lake. And you can tell it looks like a canoe portage I'm walking on, much larger than a hiking trail. So there's no signs of any wear on the trail whatsoever. No footprints in the mud holes and nothing. So I kind of wonder if there's been anybody out here yet this season. So I'm sure there have to be by now, but there's no marks or footprints or anything. So we will see as we go. Oh, the woods is kind of nice. It's kind of like fall. It's all no leaves yet. Little tiny buds starting, but not very many. Sky is gray, but forecast is supposed to be improving for today and tomorrow, and then get kind of bad Friday night through Sunday. Some rain, a lot of rain chances and stuff. But we'll see how it goes. That's all for now. Here's the boardwalk. People talk about crossing this creek. I think it's called Home Creek. Some happy birds there. Anyway, yeah, I've seen videos of this thing, and usually the water is way up here to these logs, or really close anyway. But a beaver dam must have blown out or something, because this thing is quite a ways up here in the air. And as you can see, the creek banks are all exposed and sandy. Well, I'm at the crossroads here, where the portage trail in meets the hiking trail and another portage trail down to Treese Lake. I came in on this path, and if I continue down that way, it goes up around the west shore of Angleworm, and eventually tees off to the right down there somewhere into Angleworm Lake. You can tell the lake is not far over the horizon right there. And this branch is the hiking trail up around the east side of the lake. And this trail is the one that is portage down to Treese Lake. T-R-E-A-S-E, I think. Here is some, used to be some signs, I guess, one time. There was one over here too. Long since been broke off, chopped off, whatever. You can tell it looks like someone was actually chopping on that one for some reason. Alright, we are going to head this way, east side of the lake. Shortly after the intersection there, which I forgot to mention took about an hour to walk from the parking lot, with a couple little fixture stops, this big Labrador tea bog right on the south shore of Angleworm Lake, which is right up there in the distance. Big black cloud I see there too. And this portage goes right, or hiking trail I guess we're on technically now, goes right across this big old bog. Big black spruce in here, and lots of this Labrador tea. And here is a wolf track right there. It's kind of hard to see in the mud. I think there might be a moose track next to it. Well, we're walking up the ridge on the east side and the landscape has completely changed. We're definitely upland. We climbed a ways up, and now we're on hard pack sand, rocky ridge with really big Norways, and we're exposed to the wind here too. So right over here is Angleworm Lake. The weather forecast on the way up said southwest winds, which I don't know. I thought they were going to be from the north all day. For sure are changing to the north during the day. And you kind of see the lake. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right over there. Yeah, sounds like 20-mile-an-hour winds too, so it could be pretty strong. So we'll see what we do with campsite selection. Try to stay out of the wind a little bit. Beautiful path. I'm really surprised the hiking trail is as big as it is here and clear. Perhaps after I get to these first campsites, might get smaller. Maybe canoers or camp there at those sites, find the trail and walk it, just to, you know, kill some time or something. But there we go. There's a good view of the lake. Well, this is pretty cool. Up here on the ridge above the trail is a chunk of ice yet. Again, it's May 16th. Pretty cool. Sheltered here on the, well, I guess this would be the west side of the rock. Apparently just doesn't get enough sun ever. Neat. Now, if it was a really hot day, I could ice my drink. This trail is absolutely beautiful in this section. Just an enchanted forest here of exposed rocks, big Norway pines, very little underbrush at all. Wow, amazing. About 50 degrees. Pretty strong wind from the north, but I'm sheltered from it right now. And there are absolutely no bugs. And the trail's in great shape. Climb and climb here. Wow. Look at this forest here. The trail just continues here on the east side to get just more and more beautiful all the time, it seems like. Big rocky plateaus and hills, overlooks. I'm in the wind now. It's kind of exposed to the lake down here. Right out there in that point, you can see through the trees out there ways there's some bare rock showing. That is the first campsite on the east side. According to what people say, you can't get to it only by canoe. Probably too rocky or something, but pretty neat. Hope the wind isn't drowning me out too bad. Keep walking through this crazy beautiful place. This is the crossing of that big swamp on the east side. There's a creek there, and it's gone. Apparently looks like there used to be quite the water here. All those bare rocks would have been underwater. You can see out there how high that would have been up. Looks like 3-4 feet maybe. Zoom in so we can see it. Yeah, you can see the water line would have been. But the whole thing's kind of dry. That rock would have been completely underwater. The dam is still there. Looks like it's sunken in the middle a little bit. There's some sign of some debris and junk back there. So maybe it did blow out at one time and the beaver just tried to fix it, but it was too late maybe. That, or is it possible they had really low snowfalls? They didn't fill up. That doesn't make sense because I thought it was a pretty snowy year. But hey, there's some sun. Cool. Well, we gotta cross this beaver dam, I guess. And here, the trail goes on the other side of this. There is an actual flag right there on this tree. Dead tree stump. First marker I've seen. Well, some big bird flew over me. I didn't see what it was, just saw a shadow in the trees. Heard a noise, and one big gigantic pile of bird poop even landed down in the pocket with my water bottle. And oh man, it's on my saw. That was a giant pile. Holy cow. I have to clean that up when I get to some water. I got to this campsite here, the second one on the east side, second one from the bottom, I should say. It's actually a canoe in sight, but it's accessible by the trail very easily. Actually, the trail coming into here to the campsite from the hiking trail was larger than the hiking trail, so I know the canoers use it a lot. This is facing south on Angleworm Lake. The sun kind of came out now. We got some patches. There's actually some blue sky up there. And the wind has definitely changed from the north now, so I should be pretty secluded behind these rocks and such. Yeah, look at that sun. Yeah, look at that. Just noticed something there. Glass bottle. Old. No, it's not that old. It's got a twist cap. Booze bottle. Beautiful sight. I'm going to stay here. Why not? Behind this campsite, there was a logging camp at one time. And there you can see this line. It's the edge of a building. They cut this out right here for a building. You can see the line. There's a pile of rocks at the other end. There's plenty of scattered metal artifacts like that one. And I noticed a couple of cellar holes on my way in. Isn't this a neat site? Like there's a cellar hole right there, food storage pit or outhouse or well or something. I doubt not a well. And there's another one. There's another line right there with the rocks. And I don't know, maybe it was later than the 30s, but there's a unusual pushed up pile of rocks here. It looks like it was maybe pushed up when maybe they cleared. I know they had heavy equipment in here. Oh yeah, there's the other cellar hole. Ironically, right by the latrine. Way too big to be an old latrine hole. And in fact, look at that. That's a well, that one was, I bet you. See that pipe? Bet you that's a filter, check valve. Bet you that's a check valve. And then, there's a pile of rocks there. There's more cut lines all over back here. I'm going to look at this in LiDAR when I get home. There's a cut through the hill right here, wide enough for a vehicle. There is a pit of some kind here with walls. Cabin. Oh, there's a piece of roof gutter, drain pipe. There's metal. There's barrels right there. And the most famous thing of all, this site is really well known for it. Kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to come here. Passed it on the way in. A little farther the way than I thought, otherwise I would have probably stopped the camera. But hey, it's a nice time for a walk. I'll include you in on the video here. Is the infamous gas pump and tanks. There's the gas pump. There's you can see the numbers right there. Was his number of gallons. They had set to. This would have had a glass. This would have had a glass globe in it so they could see the fuel. There's these two big giant tanks here. Fuel tanks, no doubt. They're old. See, they're built like a boiler with rivets. So these are very old, turn of the century-ish. And then there's actually a valve there, and see they're on wooden runners. They're sitting up here. That was probably originally how they were set, level and flat. This one's collapsed. But I see there's more back here. There's a flat thing and a big drain pipe coming out of this hill right back here somewhere. But yeah, they just left all of this junk here. Pretty neat. Well, one big question is, well, how do they power this pump? Well, I don't know that much about these, but I'm suspecting it's because of this right here. It was hand operated. Somebody took this thing, moved this lever back and forth, and that slid these two pistons. You can see that there they are. They would have had, they must have just fit tightly in a sleeve. See, there's one with, it's got grooves in it, and this one has ridges, so they must mate together somehow. And it's no signs of wiring or anything. It was just purely a mechanical pump. Someone sat there and just hand pumped up till that globe had as many gallons in it as they wanted, and then had a hose coming out of it, and they fueled up some sort of logging equipment at the time. I just don't see any signs of road, and I'm way up on a hill here. They must have been really small tractors, like small bulldozer type things. Alright, let's head on back to the camp. This is just amazing. This is why I come here. I'm going to deal with the weather and the scheduling and the long car rides and all that stuff. There's no noise, there's nothing. What a beautiful little lake. Yeah, this campsite, I can't quite see it, but just around the corner down there is the far end of Angleworm Lake. The other campsite on the east side is right there on that point. I don't think there's anybody around. The main lake actually goes beyond that point right there. Actually, that's a little island right there. This is a point. You go around that way, and then the campsite's kind of on a little backwater back here. But I'm sitting here with my hiking shoes off, sitting on my chair, got my gear all out. I'm about to make a Spam sandwich, have a few M&Ms and a drink mix. And I got my pack and gear washed, got the bird poop off, and laying over there in the sun to dry. Pretty much ideal right here. It's a little bit windy, but not complaining. I spoke too soon about the bugs. Sitting here trying to do water, and I don't know if you can see them in the light here, but little buggers are black flies. They're not too vicious, but there's a certain number of them. Oh, my water bottle's full. Yeah, back to the black flies. They are, I don't know if they're showing up on camera, but there's a lot of them all of a sudden. The wind kind of settled down, and wham, out come the black flies. And they're kind of starting to bug me. They're not too vicious. We got a couple bites, but they're definitely in my ears and eyes. Anyway, I got a little bit of firewood cut. I reorganized the fire grate, stacked up all these rocks really nice because they were kind of half burying the fire grate before. And I just It actually had covered up most of the fire grate. They had a little hole inside. I don't know what they're doing, but stacked them all up, made a nice chimney, and then here's this chunk of sheet metal for just for the fun of it. I just sat it in there from the old scrap pile over here, so make a nice little chimney. I'm sure somebody will take it off and throw it away soon. But... Alright, light the fire. I'm going to sit down over here, watch the sunset, and cook some food. My tent is set up back over there, out of the wind. No, now I'm kind of almost wishing I had it in the wind with these bugs, but we'll see. They'll probably quit after dark. What a beautiful evening. Absolutely beautiful. No sign of any other people. Really wonderful night tonight. The food was good. I ate the chicken and rice medley that I made in one of my meals. Portion wise, it was just about right for the way I feel tonight. If I was really hungry, it wouldn't be quite enough. For most people, most guys anyway, it probably wouldn't be quite enough. Having some trouble with my stove. I'm trying a Bud Light style stove. Nah, might go back to the Fancy Feast, I guess, or Fancy Bud as I call it, mine version. But sitting here looking at this beautiful lake, look at this. Just amazing. Sitting here with my feet out again, it's just wonderful. The wind is cold. It's gonna get really cold tonight as soon as that sun goes down, which is almost there. I'm still gotta do some dishes and pick up all of this miscellaneous stuff piled right next to me. Kind of all right there, all my cooking and food stuff. And get back to watching this fire a little bit. This is the wonderful part about being here. There's just no noise. There's water flowing somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I can hear the water flowing. I almost feel bad talking in a way. Feels like I'm disturbing things, but it's supposed to be clear tomorrow, and supposed to be clear tonight. We'll see if there's northern lights. We got a pretty good forecast for northern lights, so unfortunately north is back to my right up here. And a lot of trees and stuff in the way, but I might be able to walk down by the lake and maybe get a peek. We'll see. I don't know what time they're supposed to be, but I'll check after dark if nothing else. I'll probably go to bed a little early and then get up later. And that's it for tonight.